Okay, I'm back. Can't find my good, cheap green wire. All I can find is my good stuff. So this is my good stuff. So, I buy wire through Waytech. That's where I get mine. So the cheap wire is this real thick stuff here. See, if you look at it, it's a lot of insulation, not much wire. If you look at the good stuff, there's not much insulation, there's a lot of wire relative to sizing. So this is the all you need for wire is the real thin stuff. So we're using this, we got to drop our fitting color down to the red terminals because they're 18 gauge and up instead of thick stuff. So I'm going to do that. I do my pliers. Okay, the starter takes a 1/4 inch spade terminal, so that's what this is. A female, not the male style. Pull that off. Stick it in there. These are the good crimpers, not cheapy ones. See how they got a nice round form tool there, and you got a nice squish thing in the middle. Gives you real good crimp. And you should always crimp it where you can know it's good, and I don't know where it's at. You don't want to crimp on the crease, you want to crimp on the other side. I'm going to say the crease is probably on the top, so I'm going to put the titty on the bottom. And after you're done, you check it. So you give it a good pull. See, I'm pulling pretty hard. It doesn't come off. That's what you want to see. So that one's ready. So now when I extend this, we're going to have a blue wire and a red wire. I mean a blue terminal and a red terminal. See, one size takes this, one size takes that. See the difference in size? So you got two options. You can either take the thin wire and double wrap it, and stuff it in the blue one, crimp down on it, or you can go ahead and cut the wire thinner and lose a couple strands and use the thin one on there. So I'll determine which one I'm going to do here in a minute. I'll do one of them. One way or the other I will do something. Okay, so now we have our green wire. We'll just figure out how much we need. The next thing I do is check our ignition switch over here and figure out what goes to what. So I need an ohmmeter for that. So I found my ohmmeter the other day. It was up here. After I spent 3 hours looking for it, last time I looked for my ohmmeter on this bike, I found my ohmmeter. It's in my box. So I hide my ohmmeter in my box. So there's my old ohmmeter. One I like using anyway. Take out the original box it came in. Make sure it's working today. Turn on your ohms. See the needle moves. When the needle moves over here, we do what we want to check. Okay, so now we take our switch over here. So we got ignition here. Got the light, and we got the plus 12. So we put our plus 12 in here. We got to rotate the switch here because it's got a trigger position. You go like that. So right now we are in that position. So light should be on. It is. And ignition is over here with the E. Boom. And the reason I don't put I is because I and negative look the same. I actually do know how to spell. Plus is by itself. Okay. Now I got to hold this one here and then turn the switch and see if it works. So there you go. See how the switch works. So this is the trigger wire that will trigger our starter. So when you go through the starter relay, you take all the load off this switch, because I don't know how good of a quality this switch is. If it's made to have a starter button run through it, then you're going to have a 30 amp circuit through here. If it's not made to do that, it won't have 30 amp circuit and it will burn out. The starter motor can suck 30 amps on a solenoid when you energize it. So we want to make sure we don't do that. That's why we got the starter relay down in there. So all we can do is wire it in. Okay, these ones here, just take terminals on these, so we're just going to strip them down, do terminals. And where did my strippers go? Over right here, back on the floor. Now this is going to go into the starter motor, which is up under there. And use my duckbill pliers to get up in there. It's hard to see in there. It's definitely a black hole that we're looking in. Ah, I can see now. Problem is I can't push. Everything I work on is in the dark. It's always a dark hole. And no, I don't like shit hanging on my head with lights on them. I hate that. That's why I don't wear it. I hate stuff on my head. Okay, so this is our green wire. So all you do now is extend this down to go engage in this here, and that'll be done on that part. This is going to go down here. I'm going to put a zip tie around this somewhere down in here to hold it down. And I'll figure exactly where it's going to sit here in a minute, but for now I'm going to leave it open so I can work on it easier. So we're going to put a 1/4 inch fitting on this blue wire because it was ground. So that'll be this big one right here. Pull, it's on there good. Now when you use those stupid pliers to just come together like that, you don't have that titty right there squeezing on it. It doesn't really give it a good bite. And they will pull apart pretty easy, which is not good. Okay, so that was going to go to there. These other two, which are these ones, we're going to be using our regular terminals down here. Not quite as much of that hanging out this time. The other one had too much exposed wire, so I didn't clip quite as much. So this time it's flush right here now instead of being sticking away through. Looks a little cleaner. Doesn't get in the way of the screw head either. So you want to make sure the titty is on the full side, not the split side where it comes together. Give a good yank to pull on it. So when you look up inside these things, usually when they roll these around, it's this where it comes together is on across the top. So if you squeeze this here right at the top, it will split it wide open. If you have this here around the top where it's split and you hit it on the back side, it'll give you a good solid crimp. So just a different way of doing things. I like my little cheap ass strippers. I got these back around 1980. I've been using them ever since. Take care of your crappy tools. They live just as good as good tools. Of course, crappy tools back then were better than most of your good tools these days. Okay. Do the same thing on this one. Now you don't want to try to squeeze it in half. Just give it a good crimp. You can feel it when it stops, give it an extra squeeze, but don't go any more, stop. Don't try to cut it in half. Cutting in half is not going to help the situation at all. Okay, so this is the one here we're going to have to extend. So let's go see what we got to work with here. Now when you go inside of a splice terminal, connector, what are you going to call it, you want to make sure you have a little extra wire hanging up to connect to. So I'd like to use this red one, but ooh, look at that, it went on there. Sometimes you can squeeze them in there. Okay, I think that is the good side. So you give it a good yank. I give about 20-30 pounds of yank, so I make sure it's on there good. If it just comes right off, it's not going to give you a good connection. You're not going to get full voltage. It ain't going to work very well when it's connected, and then when it falls apart, it definitely won't work. Okay, now we're just going to cut this and put that in there when we feel like it. We'll do that after we assemble it. So now I'm going to put this around here, and I'm going to do it that way. So first I'm going to put these wires on the switch. So these two kind of go together, so let's keep them together. Okay, now I got to figure out where this is going to go. So we know where my little Phillips is right here. We know this is what the green wire goes. Or not the green wire, excuse me. The trigger wire, which is yellow. Green wire is the output wire. Tricky. That one's on. Okay, now this one's going to go to our plus 12. No, this is going to be on the output, so it's going to go in the light. It can go in the light or the E terminal, whichever works better for us, because it doesn't really matter. They all are all hot. So in this case, this one folds up better if we go around the light spot, which is right over there. It's just the way it folds around better. But I might change that. I have the luxury going to either one right now, so. I like the keys to be in straight when you put them in. That's going to be down there, so go give me a zip tie for down there. Ties. They're nice fancy ones. Oh, keys are down here. All right. Okay. So key comes out like that. So that one wants to wrap around an angle I don't like. So I want to spin around to a different location. So I'm going to put it on E now instead of the other one, because I don't like this position. Another advantage of this is that it opens up that other wire to be where I can get to it. So I can easily add the other wires I need to hook up. It'll be on the back side where it's easy to get to, instead of buried behind the transmission where it's going to be hard to get to. Okay, I like that. So these just wrap around pretty easily, which is just fine for me. There's that one. Don't want to have that laying on top of that one, so I pull it back just a little bit. Keep it from short against another terminal. Okay. That's going to go right in there. Just going to pull back a little bit. Ignition switch sits up nice how I like it. And where's our other terminal at? And our light terminal is the one that's right there, which I can get to. Through this direction, I can get to the other screw. Alright. Put that on there real quick just for a quick mock-up. Okay. Where's our blue one at? Okay, the disadvantage of that was our blue one now is way too low. Pull around a little bit. Okay. And then in a spot where you can't see much going on, but you see how these are wrapping around pretty cleanly. This turn I had to pull up a little bit to get to here. You want to make sure this is not sharp edge like it is, because it'll cut through. So right off the bat, we're going to go in here and deburr this edge because it's pretty sharp. I don't want that to cut the wire, because right now it will chafe it a little bit. Now it is a ground wire, so it doesn't really matter, but still I don't like it. A lot of room to get back in here either. You can hear how sharp it is. This is not cutting enough. Sharper, shorter file, get it a little easier maybe. Dulled it out a lot.